What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of My True Fairy Tale, which arrives in select theaters and on demand April 9th from Gravitas Ventures, I'm here talking with the writer-director Dimitri and one of the stars of this film, Emma Kennedy. How are you, Dimitri and Emma?
Great. Thank
Great. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for taking the time and congratulations on the film. I watched it recently and it was very deeply moving, very heartwarming. At the end of it, I couldn't stop tearing up. It was so emotional. Dimitri, let me start with you. I understand a bit of the context surrounding this project, but for my fans at home, please share with them what was the inspiration behind My True Fairy Tale. What led you to wanting to make this film?
The inspiration behind the film was a tragic incident that took my daughter's life away on Memorial Day weekend in 2017 in upstate New York.
Hmm.
My life was in a complete shock, and my family was in disarray. The entire community was also in complete shock, and we had to deal with the aftermath, and we had to move on from it.
Thank you for sharing that. I commend you. I admire you for making this film in her honor. So, if you don't mind my asking, is the character Angie sort of somewhat loosely inspired by your daughter in any way at all?
Actually, I would say that out of all the characters in the film, Angie is as close to Alyssa, who is my daughter, as it could be. So she's probably the most realistically portrayed to true life character.
Hmm, that's wonderful. And Emma, when and how did you come into the equation as far as this project goes? And what was your reaction when you read the script and when you found out the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So I received an audition from my agent, my manager, and I read the script and thought that it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really feel like I need to be in it, but I'm just going to audition. And then I went and I was able to meet Mitry, and we ended up reading like, I want to say 15, 20 pages that day. We just kept printing them. And then I ended up getting it, and I was so excited. I had no idea that it was based on his daughter until after I booked it, and he called me and told me, which I'm glad that I didn't know whenever I auditioned, because I feel like I would have just been an anxiety mess and a puddle of tears. And so I was definitely shocked. It felt like a really, really great responsibility to portray Angie.
Emma, how would you describe Angie as it is on the script? Because as I was watching her, she strikes me as a very smart person, very smart girl who can make smart comments, smart comebacks. Obviously, she also genuinely wants to help. But what was your process of embodying or inhabiting Angie?
Yeah, I really focused on her just light. She is such a light person. She is very smart. She does have very great comebacks, which was super fun to film. But I would say at her core, she just wants the best. She's an optimist. She wants the best for everyone around her. And so I just focused on making my castmates feel loved, doing the same in scenes, and hoping that that would come across with her spirit.
And Dimitri, what was it about Emma's audition that stood out that made her like fit for this role?
For me, the most important thing is the feeling.
Hmm.
And, when Emma walked into the room, it was this energy, this energy that was radiating from her that I felt that, oh my God, this could be the one. This is exactly the look and the vibe that I see Angie as. And I was saying, I remember to myself, oh, I hope she reads well. I hope she reads well. And she actually read better than what I thought. Because, as a director, you have in mind what you want, and it's a little bit different of what you get, but it's incredible when you get something better than what you thought.
Hmm.
And I think that's the aspect that uniqueness that Emma brought in. And I was like, oh my God, we have to have Emma.
Such high praises, very deserving, of course.
Thank you.
Dimitri, this movie has a big cast ensemble, multiple characters, multiple personal dilemmas colliding and crossing paths. When writing such a complex script such as this, how did you strike a balance between the characters so that none of them get too much time or none of them would get neglected? What were the challenges of that come with that?
It's very strange, Rama. It's a terrific question, but I never thought of it that way. It's
Mm,
just the script was writing itself, and um, I had to deal with each problem as it came in, without thinking, oh, who am I leaving out and who I'm not leaving out. I just needed to solve each of the family's problem, each of the characters' problem, and that's how I saw it. In fact, we had a storyline. We had an extra storyline, and unfortunately, that was really, really tough. But we had to take it out of the film because at the
mm.
end, it didn't fit the vision of the film that I saw. So I take it upon myself.
Do you know what crossed my mind when I was watching this movie? There's this show on TV that I loved watching when I was a kid. The '80s show called Highway to Heaven, starring the late great Michael Landon, helping people out. And so that's what it reminded me as I was watching Angie. I guess that leads me to my final two-parter question for both of you. One, what do you hope audiences would take away? Audiences who are dealing with their own grief and loss, what do you hope they would take away from watching My True Fairy Tale? And what do you hope audiences, what message do you think this movie would give to audiences that want to help but feel like they couldn't? Either they don't have the resources or they feel like they're just, not up to it. What do you think? Let's start with you, Emma.
I think that the biggest message, at least for myself and filming it and watching it, is just loving the people that you're around,
Mhm.
kind and helping. Um, and it can start with just your relationships. I think that that's what's so cool about this movie. Angie isn't buying anyone a $3 million house or a Lamborghini or any of that. She's just trying to help out. Um, and so I would hope that people would take away, like, you can be a kind person and be loving without making huge grand gestures, just being a good person. So I hope that people would take away just loving on others.
The, being a superhero and saving the world is very allegorical.
Mm.
And I went on a noise on purpose that way. Um, Love is the superpower, but it's a superpower that all of us have, and it's an invisible superpower. And if we truly connect to the vibration of love, which some call the highest vibration known to us humans, it will heal things and will make um, uh, light out of everything. And at the end, I hope love heals grief, love heals injustice, and love heals death.
All right. For my fans at home, everybody go check out My True Fairy Tale, arriving in select theaters and on demand April 9. Dimitri and Emma, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.